So I'm refilming the video that I had already uploaded for tomorrow. Main reason is one, I took one book out and replaced with another. I was like, I don't want to read that one again. It was a reread, and I was like, it's been a bit too, like, it hasn't been that long, but it's kind of like that. It's right in the middle. I was kind of like, there's no real reason to read that one again. But then I also have 10 more movies. I decided to, because I have one more book that returned to the library, I decided, you know what, let's check out some movies. Now, here's the thing: none of these are library books. I get more in detail, I believe, on just maybe a while from now. So I'll say what it is. I'll explain it. But basically, I'm taking a little break from the library so I can focus on books in my collection. Now, this pile right here of 21 books was originally going to be the books to tide me over until all the books come in that I'd be ordering from the library. But then I decided, you know what? I have this other pile I've been waiting to read since January of my, again, personal collection books. Let's go all out and do both at one time. Not at one time, obviously, but do them both. And that's basically what this is. I just said kind of, and yeah, it's not over. It's not the best decision I ever made. Like, it's not like 100% yes. It's like a, part of me is kind of like, maybe you should put into books. Maybe you should just take one more week off, or you know what I mean. Go back to the library, back to the normal schedule, and push it off a little bit more. But I decided, because my impending job, maybe on August 15th is when I'd be starting if I get hired there. Let's do this, once and for all. But first up is 10 movies, and these are all from the library. Like I do with the library books in general, or just the books in general, I am going to start with the ones I've watched before I get into the ones I'm watching the first time. First one up is Misery. I saw this and I was like, I want to watch this again. I'm glad I did, because I probably would have remembered it later on and be like, oh man, I should check that one out again. This is a very good movie. One of those movies I'm tempted to buy myself, but there's no reason to if they have it. Annihilation. I want to give this a second chance. And that's why I mostly reread more than rewatch. But that's why I reread comics so much, is that I'm giving them a second chance. So there's 3 criteria. I'm giving them a second chance. I just want to read them again because I really liked them. That's how it is with Misery. Or there's like another volume in the series, and I think I can get caught up in that and finish the whole entire series. It's usually because their system is a little bit off. They have 2 systems for putting in books for interloans. One of them is awful, and you had to. I found out that with the ISBN in for some hidden books. Like, they have books that you can't find unless you put the ISBN in for that book. It's very strange, but it's the way it is. Ratatouille. I'm dying to watch this one again. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it before, but I'm like, good family movie to watch. Now onto the one that it's kind of in the middle. I honestly cannot remember if I've watched this one at least all the way through. As the Muppet movie. They had a Fathom event at AMC about a month ago, a few weeks ago, and obviously I missed it, and I was tempted to check it out in the theater. It was an anniversary. That's what this is too. Is an anniversary re-release. I have always wanted to go to the Fathom event, but I gotta pick something like a really good, like The Exorcist or The Shining, or maybe the first Star Wars movie, but how it was originally released, the first Star Wars movie. Like something that's like culturally significant, not just, I hate to say it, but like a Muppet movie where I can just watch myself, It has to be something that, yes, even though I own it, I want to watch on a big screen. Lost in Translation. This is one I've not seen before. So now on to the movies I've not seen before. I've heard a lot about this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. Now, I was only rated R for some sexual content. It's kind of funny. Not even for language. 1984, the movie everyone loves to... well, nice, the Criterion Collection version of the movie everyone likes to say is like very... it's like a predict the future, kind of like how Contagion did. So really where this one says, a 4K restoration. It's a DVD. You can't get that far. Maybe it's like the FPS. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe they mean in general, like you get it 4K. I don't know. Nightmare Before Christmas. This is one of those movies that I'm kind of surprised I've not watched it yet, but gonna rectify that mistake. Alien and Aliens, another movie I'm kind of surprised I've not seen. This one, I didn't check to make sure this was the. It has deleted scenes here, but I check this one. It should have it. Yeah, it says includes 17 minutes restored footage. I was making sure that this is the extended edition. It says it. Like restored footage. Might not be. I don't know. I thought it said it. Hopefully it is. I don't know, but Aliens. And then the first Alien movie. At least the first one I've heard, like, the special edition isn't as good as the theatrical, so. There you go. And pretty much what they did was they put the deleted scenes into the movie, which is already on the disc. And then My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, how do you make sure of that? Yeah, actually, I can look it up. It'd be very much like me to say I've had the weirdest luck today with forgetting things and not realizing things. Like today when we always go out to lunch after the library, and we went to so it's 2 hours and 17 minutes. And that one says, no, it says 154, so it is good. Cool. Because I swear, like, both of them, they said, oh, it's the extended version. Okay, cool. Cool. But when I went to, I don't like mustard or cheese on my hamburger, and I was like, okay, and usually I told them to take it off. I didn't this time. Which is really weird that I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that. And the other thing, I forgot the other thing. There's another thing I forgot to do. That's like, how did you forget that? Alright, now on to the books in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Technically 6 are all rereads. And then we get into ones I've read like half of or partially, like over half or something like that, or less than half, up to half that I've read before, but not all the way through. But the first 6 are all rereads, like all the way through. I've read them before. Ant-Man World Hive, just one I've meant to come back. I always meant to come back to, but never end up doing it. Mainly because it's kind of one of those, you read them once, and then you're kind of like, because it's not like, it's not really in depth or anything, so it's not like you forget everything that happened in it. So, but now I have. I'm just like, you know what, I read this one again. I remember liking it enough. I don't remember it being like one of those books I hated, but I don't remember thinking it was all that spectacular. Which is to be fair, it's one of those kind of 5-issue miniseries that comes out and kind of an unremarkable release, if you will. Very hard to explain to people that aren't into comics. So basically, it's kind of like an indie movie that will release, and normally people talk about it, sure, but it's kind of like it kind of goes away after people talk about it. That's kind of common for me. First time reading it, anyways. Infinity Gauntlet. This is one of those ones that I'm surprised I haven't gone back to yet. 4 kids walk into a bank. This is one for the longest time I'd read like once every 3 months. It was that good. And I haven't done it in a long time, so rectifying that mistake. Fantastic Four 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had for so long that I want to say it was the first Fantastic Four book I ever bought for my personal collection. Because I wouldn't say for the longest time, but I was a bit skeptical to get Fantastic Four books. Me, it wasn't, but I don't know. I wasn't like clamoring to get every Fantastic Four book or whatever my local comic shop had. But once I read this, it turned me into a permanent Fantastic Four fan. So I cannot wait to read this one again. It's been so long, I couldn't even tell you what the book was about. Like, very vaguely. It's the vaguest of a plot synopsis. Suicide Squad: Bad Blood. This is the 11-issue mini maxi series by Tom Taylor, which I'm really enjoying this one. It was a nice, fun book that I didn't really ask too much of. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't ask too much of you. It wasn't. I don't know. It's a fun book. I don't know why. The last reread is The Last God. This is one again, like with 4Kids, and like 4Kids. This is one I want to read again. Actually, I would say like Suicide Squad. I remember really enjoying it. I just want to come back to it and read it again. Criteria is giving a second chance. I mean, making a second chance too. I guess you could technically say Ant-Man. Or I really like them, like with Last God and Suicide Squad, 4Kids, and pretty much everything. Honestly, except maybe Ant-Man. This one I've read almost all the way through. In fact, I think I can pinpoint exactly when I had stopped reading it. Okay, I know I read that one. Why was that not marked? Yeah, I skipped through it. I don't know. But I read a good amount with this book, and this is Carnage Classic, collecting a bunch of classic appearances by Carnage, of Carnage. I remember really liking this one. I have a Warren Ellis one-shot in here. I believe it's Mind Bomb, that I thought was absolutely spectacular. You have a really cheesy Venom crossover that's really dated too, because it deals with video games, computer games. This was back in the 90s. But I remember enjoying most of these issues, especially his first appearances. That was really nice, really good. And it's one of those books that also is this, where it's like, okay, he makes a little cameo appearance here it is, and kind of gets it caught up, which I think is pretty cool. But I also wish they would have. I also would have been nice if they just collected the issue itself and maybe just went to $39.99. This is it's for a pretty thick book. It's only being $35 is a pretty damn good deal. Now it's been out for a long time, so it makes sense. I'm gonna look at the printing is way too. It's red over black, and it's way too hard to read. This one I've read exactly half of, and I believe at least, and this is Crisis on Infinite Earths. Just one of those books that I kept putting off. Like, I was like, you know what, I was kind of like, I'm kind of getting sick of this book, let's take a little break, and I never got back on it. Not that it was a bad book, per se, it was just kind of not my thing, and I wouldn't say it's not my thing, it was the pacing was too slow for me. It's weird because that's my favorite era of comics, so you wouldn't think it would matter at all. This one I've had for so long, you can tell that I've had it for as long as I've had it. This is not Avengers Marvel Masterworks, but rather the X-Men Volume 8 Masterworks. This one just collects a lot of random crossovers with like Avengers, a Marvel Team-Up issue is in here, some Hulk appearances with a crossover with the X-Men. It's all crossovers with the X-Men across titles that were not their own. Because at this point, the comic series have been canceled. The original X-Men one. The Stan Lee run had been canceled because it was not. It's kind of funny to think that even back then it wasn't well received, but then Chris Claremont came around and made it what it is today. I would say that I honestly do like the Stan Lee run on Captain America on X-Men, and it has this infamous issue right here of. We also have 180. 180 is his cameo appearance. We have a first full appearance of Wolverine here. A very topical comic issue these days because of the Hulk, and of course the Hulk, because of the Wolverine and Deadpool movie, which I am very excited to see when it comes out on the 26th of July. I don't think I can manage to watch it opening day because I'm pretty sure tickets are already sold out, but you never know. There's two movie theaters around my area, and one of them is like no one goes to it, so maybe I'll get lucky to go to that one. But then again, everyone else will think the same thing. Ultimates by Mark Millar, Volume 1. This one I read the first arc of. There's 2 arcs in here, collected in here, 2 volumes. I read the first one. Thought it was pretty enjoyable. And they just, again, kept putting it, I wouldn't say kept putting it off, just kind of forgot about it. The main reason why, so I was going to read this way back when I was going to get all the Mark Millar Image comic series, like all stuff he's done for Image. But those series, most of them, if not all the ones he's planning on continuing, will be under the Dark Horse label. So it'll be like on my shelf will look like Image, Dark Horse, my Mark Millar collection. And at that point, I was kind of like, I have so many other things to get. We'll put that off for now. And then I decided, you know what, to hell with it. Let's finally read Ultimates. Especially because I read the Al Ewing run. I want to go back to the original Ultimates run. Deadpool Classic. This is a lot of. This is another topical. Another topical book because this collects his first appearance of it collects the first appearance of Deadpool, along with a bunch of his other 90s series. I have some Deadpool mini-series here, some appearances he made in. No, it's just his first appearance in New Mutants 98, and then some 4-issue mini-series and the first issue of the Joe Kelly run. This is when I skipped. I just skipped to the Joe Kelly issue 1 after a while because I was kind of getting sick and tired of the 90s, like super cheesy 90s, but I'm in the mood for that now, so shall not be disappointed, I don't think. I'm in the mood for exactly what I'm going to get. Daredevil Born Again, one of the books that... Oh yeah, so we're on the... Starting right now, as of Daredevil Born Again, we're on to the ones I'm reading all the way... Sorry, nope, never mind. Sorry. Daredevil Born Again. I read the first 3 issues of this, but never finished it. Again, rectifying that mistake. Classic Daredevil story. I'm surprised even I haven't read. But then again, I haven't read a lot of Frank Miller's Daredevil run, so there you go. Captain America, War and Remembrance. Again, another book I've had in my collection for... And that's the thing, I've had a lot of these books in my collection for a long time. And I just kept... And yeah, I would read other books in my collection. But I just keep, like, putting this one off. And I'd be like, okay, I want to read these instead, and these instead, and these instead. And I just never got around to reading this one. X-Men Milestones, Mutant Massacre. This is... I'm hoping this one is... Because I know there's an omnibus of it, but I'm hoping this one just gives the bare minimum, like, not the bare minimum, but the story, it actually has a beginning, middle, and end. Because I know sometimes they're like, okay, there's a bunch of crossovers here, and, like, aftermaths, and here and this, and tie-ins, and all that jazz. But I think this one is, like, the core storyline. Which is all I'm asking for. And I again, with Mutant Massacre... I was originally going to start with the Chris Claremont run, like way back when it started, and then gradually make my way to Mutant Massacre. But I have, I think, at least 10 issues before. I don't have those 10 issues beforehand, so it's like, you know what, why not do that? Plus, there's New Mutants issues in here, and X-Force, I believe. No, X-Factor. So, it was kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, I don't have those issues leading up to that issue of X-Factor, so what's the point? Bad Mother. This is starting with Bad Mother, we are now into the ones I'm reading all the way through for the first time. This one, I have no real excuse for not having read this one yet. Because I have its main collection. This is also an AWA Upshot book. Unless you saw it when I was going over the book when I bought it way back when, there's no way. There's no way. There's I've never mentioned AWA before. Like, unless I was showing this one off for any of the other AWA books I have. Let's see. And also, all these, it's not just the first volume, but every volume of any AWA Upshot book for collected edition, softcover anyways, is $10 list price, which I think is the best price range. This might just be the publisher I go to after Image, but I probably will just be getting Image books till the end of time, until I get every single one I've been I want. But even then, there's gonna be new releases. But maybe I'll sprinkle in some like Marvel books, DC books, and then get the Image book I need for that month. That's spring release, like new release. But Bad Mother. Acts of Vengeance, Avengers. Another one. This one, some of these I do have excuses for. This one I was going to get the Spider-Man and X-Men ones instead of doing a reprinting of the omnibus. I guess they just decided to do Marvel just decided to do a a printing of the complete collections like this. I was going to get the Spider-Man and X-Men one, and at that point have everything that's collected in the main omnibus. But at the end of the day, it was I knew it was not gonna happen. After a while, it's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Then we have Batman Kit Crate. Batman the Caped Crusader, collecting the first few issues of his post-crisis run. So it's ironic that I'm reading Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then I'll be reading the post-crisis Batman series. And like with Avengers, I was gonna wait till I had the entire run of these soft covers before I even read one of them, because I knew I liked them enough, or just be happy to own them. But not only are they all out of print, but I got so far behind that because Volume 2 went out of print very fast, that even waiting until they had a sale on them, even then that was too much money for me to. It was too much money for me to justify buying them, even at a significant discount. Yes, Batman Caped Crusader. Earth X. This is yet another one that was going to be the omnibus of way back when. Never ended up doing it. Decided to hell with it. I'm going to just read this one now and just whatever. If I don't. I hate they do this too. This thing right here, they put way to the end. I don't know why I hate it so much. There's no extras. Not that I want extras. It's kind of weird that they do that. They don't have anything at the end. I feel like every collected edition is legally obligated to at least have an afterword by the author. And I believe it has an intro, not something on it. But Earth X, Stabbity Bunny. It's one of those ones that, even if I'm gonna get Volume 2, I was like, am I going to though? I have so many other books I need to get that. This is at like the super stutter. This is at the bottom of the list. Again, I could end up really enjoying this book, thinking it's the most underrated comic series of all time. But even then, I probably would buy it then, buy Volume 2 then. But time will tell. And I think I don't have high hopes for it, of course. It's just the way I feel about it. The Suicide Squad case files, just a lot of random issues of the Suicide Squad character. No, it does not collect the verse appearances of all these characters. Some it does, but not all of them. It is kind of infuriating. But to make up for it, they give you Amanda Waller, Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller, I believe it's called. Yep, exactly that. Issue 1 one-shot, which is written by Jim Zub. So that was a nice surprise. At least there is that. And finally, last but not least, the Hellboy Universe Omnibus. Now, this one, I was stuck between reading this one, reading Witchfinder Omnibus, or reading the Lady Baltimore Witch Queen's 5-issue miniseries. But I decided this one's probably the best one to read because it is it is connected to Hellboy significantly. It kind of seems like this is the best one to read if I want to just read something that's way gets condensed and, self-contained. Not entirely, I'm sure, but enough to where I wouldn't need to read anything beforehand to get caught up or anything like that. But this one also has it's also co-written by either John Arcudi or Chris Roberson, both authors that I want to read more of their stuff. So there you go, worked out in the end. That, as I say, is that how this video was half of the length of the video before my first cut. I don't know, because I also added in 10 movies. I'm just gonna go through these again, make sure there's nothing else I want to mention about these books. Pretty sure not. I probably just went on some unnecessary tangents. But I think that is it. Next video will be me going over I should be reviewing Comic Story. And some movies, hopefully. Because I gotta watch all 10 movies within 2 weeks. Because I'm able to renew it once. It's usually 7 days. Not, like, in general, it's 7 days, but you renew it once. So there you go. That, as you say, is that.